Hey, hello, my name is Saffron, and I thought I would make a video about and tell about my possession story, about being demonically possessed. It is a real thing. People don't think it is. It really is a legit thing. And I just see a lot of posts on Facebook and social media. I've been seeing something about a new tarot card movie or something, movie about tarot cards as like a horror movie. And it just reminded me of a bad experience I had with tarot cards about 4 or 5 years ago. And I just want to tell my story because people think it's a work, like possession or, paranormal stuff is like, fiction, especially nowadays, we're surrounded by cell phones and access to information. And a lot of the world is fact based. And they think stuff like that is just, it's not real or, you know, they just think it's fiction. And I just want to tell my story. I typed up my story. I've shared it on Facebook, but something has led me to make a video about it because I feel like people just need to, people need to know that the paranormal world is real and demonic possession is real. So I thought I would share my story, and I love to sing, and I thought I would sing a song afterwards. So here's my story that I typed up. I grew up in a small Bible Belt town in West Texas. There were more churches and businesses. I lived an hour away from any major fast food chain and an hour away from a mall. Growing up, I would go with my grandparents to a local Catholic church. My parents, they didn't really come with me to church because when they got married, they tried to get married in a Catholic church, but my parents' marriage was not blessed in a church because one of my parents was Baptist and the other was Catholic. And back at the time that they wanted to get married, they wouldn't do it at the church. So it was just my grandparents that took me to church. And I didn't really understand it because the church was very ritualistic. The Catholic Church in a whole is kind of ritualistic, and it was kind of, I don't know, I just didn't understand it. I didn't really read the Bible till later on in life, but yeah, I got baptized in the Catholic Church. At the time, I really didn't understand what I was doing. I just thought it was the right thing to do. I guess, in a child, you have to think as a child, I don't know. You're still learning, and the Bible is kind of complex to figure out. So I really didn't know what I was doing. I just knew, I thought it was the right thing to do. And when I was in 6th grade, I totally stopped going to church. Not because, I was a teenager being rebellious. I wasn't I dressed kind of unique, but I wasn't really a rebellious type. And about 6th grade, I stopped going to church and catechism. And my parents didn't go to church, so that was more of a reason why I didn't go to church. Growing up and in my 20s, probably most of my life, I would kind of consider myself agnostic. I mean, I grew up around Christianity, but I really didn't understand it. I didn't know what to believe, not really confused. I just couldn't. I knew that there was something more than just being here. I was an atheist. But I didn't really throw it out there. I kind of kept it to myself. I considered myself a closet agnostic, what I call it now. And I just didn't know what to believe, and I just didn't throw it at people's faces either. But I loved watching paranormal shows. I was really into reading my horoscope and stuff like that. Stuff like that interests me for some reason. I guess because it gave me comfort. It was kind of more of a comfort thing, I guess. In my 20s, I tried for a number of singing competitions. I don't know. That was my childhood dream, to become a singer. And one of the worst things I ever did was I sang for a magician he was popular in the late 2000s. He had like a TV show, and he had he had a hatred for God. He kind of mocked God, and he had a dark image. I sang for him on like a live broadcast on the internet for like millions of people. And months later, it really wasn't a contest. The guy set me up to be bashed and belittled online so badly I had to delete a social media account. It was ugly. I had to delete like a social media account that was popular at the time. And it just devastated me. But to me, this was the first time I had to deal with Satan. And it was in Satan in human form. And I believe that was the first time Satan was trying to bring me down. I really believe that. Years later, in my early 20s, my mom, not my early 20s, but early 30s, my mom was having problems with her heart, and I was still agnostic. I started going to a Catholic church with my mom. Not a Catholic, but Baptist. I transferred to Baptist. And I was still agnostic. I still didn't know what to believe. I mean, I wasn't atheist. I knew there was something out there. And I saw something online for a cultist store, a cult store. They had like a astrology course that I took. And I took the course for several weeks. And I took it really to get my mind off work and worrying about stuff. And weird thing, I had like these bad headaches after this course, or after each class I would have like this bad headache, and I really didn't know why I had the headaches, but every time I went to take that class, like, I would feel drained and stuff. It was really weird. But weeks later, I had this bright idea. One, I buy tarot cards, and I did order some tarot cards online. It was based off of this lady that used to do infomercials in like the late 90s, early 2000s. She was like a psychic person. She had like it was like $5 tarot cards online. I thought they were cool. I love Egyptian kind of stuff. And I started playing with those cards. I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I heard bad stuff about these cards, but I don't know. I just, wanted to make my own mind up about them, and I just thought that would be an interesting way to get my mind off of stuff. And boy, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I played with the cards for a couple of weeks. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, and they were pretty accurate. And for a while, I thought I was talking to God. I really thought I was talking to a higher power. And I got to a point, I posted them online and stuff, and people were backlashing me and saying, oh, they're evil, don't play with these cards. And I just wouldn't listen to people. But for some reason, I don't know. I was being controlled because there's some stuff I really don't remember me doing. Like, I deleted my Facebook account. And, well, not deleted my account, but I deleted the app from my phone, and I was off the social media for a while. And I just played with these cards for weeks. And I would see red lights going around my house, and my dogs would see them. I saw them too. And I remember a moment my dogs were kind of like staring at them, like standing like, whoa, what's that? But they didn't bark at them. My mom would be like, what's that? And I knew that I was seeing stuff, but I didn't tell my mom at the time. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. I played with the cards for weeks and weeks, and my energy just kept getting worse and worse. It was weird. Like, and I played with them and these cards were creepy. Like, they knew stuff. I would see like I'd had this beauty mirror, the lights would kind of twitter on it, and it is crazy. And I remember hearing like trotting steps, like in the attic, like trot, trot, trot. I remember hearing that. And these cards knew I had a raise. There's a day it's like, you're gonna have a surprise this day, and come to find out it was a raise. It was crazy. But I got to a point where I was playing with them one weekend, and I just felt really out of whack. Like, I went with my parents on this trip, like on a Saturday, and I just felt like, ugh. Like, I'd get in the car and I just keep dozing off. I felt just tired, really tired. And I remember having a dream that time just stopped. Like time, I think it was God trying to tell me to stop playing with these cards. And it was a weird dream. I had this dream that time just stopped. It just stopped completely. And I went home that weekend. My parents went to a friend's house, but I decided not to go with them. And I stayed at home because the cards were like, drama's going to happen. There's going to be like drama going on. And that evening was just weird. I'd sit in a chair and I'd see like red lights like coming towards me. Like almost like they were trying to drain my energy. It was weird. And I remember going to my bedroom to go play with the cards, and I remember like I went through a little cabinet and little white orbs just showed up, like popped up, like you see in spooky shows, like these white orbs just popped up, and I'm like, whoa. I think it was my guardian angel being like, stop playing with those cards, Saffron, you know. But I continued to play with them until like Sunday. That Sunday, I went to church, and I was, feeling drained still. And I went to church, and I remember my preacher saying something in regards of either choose me, or either choose God, or you choose Satan. There's no in between. And that just kind of stuck with me all day. And then that evening, I got to a point where something just told me, throw out the cards, throw out, this astrology notebook that I created for my class. I threw them both out and some other stuff, and I just felt 1,000 times better than I had in a long time. I had to deal with a lot of foot pain and just body pain, and I felt like a brand new person. In the next few days, my mom had a heart procedure, and she went through it, or she made it through. And the next 2 days, I saw like a white fog, bright white fog everywhere I went. And it was just beautiful. I can't describe it. And I remember I couldn't listen to the radio for a few days. Like I had to shut off the radio and anything with a speaker completely, because the demons were trying to, like, I'd hear a buzzing sound, or I'd hear my name, and it was like the demons trying to get back to me. It was crazy. And years later after this happened, after I got saved and accepted God, well, I remember a few months later after I got saved, I got baptized, and I remember just feeling emotional after I got baptized, like I cried. It was weird. I'm not usually the crying type, but I cried. And a couple years later, I was at work, and I had this lady. I was trying to tell her, don't play with the cards, they're not good. And I worked with this one lady for a day, and she was telling me how good, or telling me stuff I wanted to hear and everything, and she was telling me how angel tarot is better than, regular tarot, and it was just kind of creepy. She was telling me everything I wanted to hear. End of that day, I counted my register, and it was $666. I counted it twice, and every time I counted it was 666. It's like, oh hell no. I was speaking to the devil through a person. It's creepy. I went home, and I bought me a cross, with like a little rhinestone cross, and something told me to wear it. I think it was God telling me to wear it, and I wore it. And the next time I went to work, I wore it, and this lady, she would just look at me in total fear, and then she just scamper off. I believe it was the devil trying to get me again, and the devil still tries to get me after playing these cards. He knows my weak spot. He knows, or he thinks I can go back, I'll go back to these things, but I won't. I will never forsake God. I love God 100%, and He's the way. He's the only way. That's all you can do whatever you want to, but I just thought somebody needed to hear this message. And I thought I would sing you the song, How Great Thou Art, because God is just nothing greater than Him. Oh Lord, my God, when I
sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can say